So the most commonly asked question is, what is ABA? My name is Colleen McGrath. I am a registered behavior technician in the state of Florida. Usually when I tell people that I work as a registered behavior tech, they're like, okay, cool. What is that? So I'm here to answer some common questions I get asked as an RBT on a daily basis. So the first major question I get is, what is an RBT? So RBT is under the umbrella term of ABA. ABA is Applied Behavioral Analysis. What is ABA? The study or therapy thought to decrease challenging behaviors and to increase or improve social communication, different learning skills, language skills, anything you can think of. The positive behaviors that a person has, we try to increase or encourage, and the negative behaviors we try to decrease through positive reinforcement and different things like that. So the main question I get asked when I say that I'm an RBT or a registered behavior technician is, what is that and what do you do from day to day? So an RBT is a paraprofessional who works directly with the child or client. In my case, I work with children, so I'm going to speak on my knowledge and background. So I directly implement behavior plans to children, and I work under the supervision of BCBA, or a board certified behavior analyst. So they write the plans and I implement the plans to decrease challenging behaviors. If it's a communication skill that we're encouraging, or different social skills we work on, it can be a wide variety of different things. But day to day, I work with the client to implement the behavior plan written by a BCBA. I would say the second highest question, most frequent question that I get asked is, do you have to go to school for that? Simple answer, no, you don't need a degree. I'm still working for my bachelor's degree, in school getting my bachelor's degree, but it has nothing to do with the RBT. So to become an RBT, you need to be at least 18 years or older. You need to pass a background check, a clear background check, because you're working with all different types of people and ages of people. But in my case, I work with children, so anywhere from like 2 to 21. So I passed my background check. I was 18 years or older. You also need to complete a 40-hour training. You sit for a 40-hour training, and then you also have to complete a competency assessment given to you by a BCBA or someone who is backed by the board of behavior analysts. In my case, I did that all through the job that I was hired by. So I started out as a behavior tech and then sat for the course through my job, became registered. They walked me through the steps to do it, and then I took the test and passed to become a registered behavior technician. There are many options or pathways to become an RBT, but in my specific case, I was working already as a BT, which is just a behavior tech, and my company paid for me to do the training, which they actually did in-house, which was very convenient. Once we passed our exam, then we got certified or credentialed by the board of behavioral analysts, and then we were able to work under the credentials of a registered behavior tech. Another question that I get asked as an RBT is, how long does it take to become an RBT? And it's a relatively quick process. First, in my case, I sat for my 40-hour training, which was all online, so I could do it on my own time. Everyone has 180 days or 6 months to complete the 40-hour course, and then from the training, I applied on the board's website, and then I sat for the exam. And then once you pass your exam, the board will send you your RBT number and your credentialing numbers, and then that's it, you're an RBT. The hardest part is for a lot of people passing the exam. I was lucky, my course was set up and designed for me to kind of just walk right into the exam with the ability to pass, so I was very lucky and gifted in that respect. What is the average pay scale of an RBT? Is another question that comes up a lot in conversation, because it is such a new field and people are so unaware or undereducated about ABA and RBTs and BCBAs and what we do. That's a common question I get. So I just want to touch on some factors that could affect your pay scale. One major thing that causes it to vary is where you're located, what state you live in is a big factor. So I started out in Pennsylvania and I moved to Florida, and the pay is a lot different than it was in Pennsylvania because of the cost of living. Pay scales look a little different nowadays, but mainly depending on where you live is a big one. Another thing that affects pay scale is your experience. If you have other credentials like a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, whatever the case may be, but your experience is a really big one along with where you live. Roughly, and for the state of Florida, the pay scale is starting, it looks like it's starting around $15 an hour, and I've seen it go all the way up to like $25 to $27 an hour. It just depends on your experience, where you live, if you came from a different state. You just have to kind of look. My best advice would be to go on Indeed and look to see your location and what an RBT's average salary is in that state. That's what I did before I moved. That's kind of the pay scale side of an RBT. It really varies. There's not like a set in stone number. Because I'm in college, this is a question I get asked quite frequently when I say I'm an RBT. Is there room to move vertically as an RBT? So this can be a tricky question because it's kind of a yes and a kind of a no depending. Yes, there's availability to move vertically from an RBT. Usually you start as a BT, which is just a behavior tech, and then you sit for your training and your exam, you pass. That's a little bit of vertical growth. Although a lot of companies these days want you to start out and be hired as an RBT already. An RBT is the highest you can get without furthering your education. So in my case, I'm in school finishing my bachelor's and going on to my master's because I want to become a board certified behavior analyst. However, as an RBT, specifically in my case, I know my company allows RBTs, if they want positions doing admin or office administration positions, you can do that. So you can be the front desk person, but if we need coverage as an RBT, you can still work as an RBT. So that gives you a little bit of flexibility there to move, but it's really at the discretion of the company. Alright guys, so that is the end of my frequently asked questions that I get as an RBT. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this a thumbs up if I answered any questions that you didn't have the answer to before. If you still have questions that I wasn't able to answer, please feel free to reach out. I love talking about ABA and the life of an RBT. So if you liked the video and learned something, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more information around ABA and RBT life. Bye guys.